This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, good morning again, guys. So far, 5 people joined. Let's give a couple of more minutes to everyone join because we had issues with GoToMeeting, so we got a new account. So just share with everyone. Let's see.
Guru, one more question.
Sure.
So will you be covering uh, to set up the pipeline through the script, basically, like writing Groovy script to
Um,
set up pipeline?
oh, no, not today. Today course is going to be more about Jenkins essentials. Like we'll be going through what is Jenkins and Jenkins administration and creating a build pipeline and other stuff, but not Groovy scripting, but not Jenkins file yet. That is going to be as part of advanced course. I think Rajesh will cover that part.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna show us the how to create a build pipeline, right?
I will build pipeline part. I will do that. That's what I will say.
And basically you take some code and that will execute build, automated, right?
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yes, of course, man. I'll be going through the Maven Java project example.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, sure. This session is going to be more practical than theory, so don't worry about that. I got you covered. I'll go through the agenda in a couple of minutes once everyone joins. Okay. Let's. I think 10 people joined so far. Let's give a couple of more minutes and then we'll get started. Okay. Because right, we had issues with GoToMeeting, so I want to make sure that everyone joins with the new meeting ID. Okay, guys, it's I think 8:50 IST, right? So far, 11 people joined. I think let's get started. Okay. By the way, I'm Guru Kallam. Today I'll be covering Rajesh. Okay, and I'll be going through Jenkins essential training today. As part of this training, I'll be going through. Let me type it down. I'll be going through what is continuous integration, and what is Jenkins, and Jenkins features and history, and also Jenkins installation process, and I'll be quickly going through Jenkins plugins and Jenkins jobs. So we'll going through one build pipeline job. Now I have an example and one cron job, one Polesium job. And once that is done, I'll be going through Sonar Cube. Okay, Sonar Cube integration with Jenkins and Jenkins administration, and also few more how to configure the tools and okay, guys. Today, so as part of today's training, I'll be going through all these topics. So, to start with, I'll be going through what is continuous integration, defining continuous integration stuff, and the benefits out of it, and also I'll be going through the what is Jenkins and its history and features, and also going to install the Jenkins on one of the new, VM, and also the plugins, the important plugins we'll be using as part of make it Jenkins working for the CI pipeline. And I'll be going through the one of the Java Maven example, cron tab, how to schedule the jobs using Jenkins in nightly builder automated builds, and also the Polesium. And I'll be going through how to analyze the static code analysis using Sonar Cube, and also I'll be quickly going through the once we are comfortable with the basic Jenkins stuff, I'm gonna go through Jenkins administration stuff, and also how to configure the different tool set, and how to manage the users in Jenkins, how to back up the Jenkins, and also I mean there are a lot of plugins out there. We'll going through a few plugins, and also the dashboard, administration dashboard. So before starting, do you guys have any questions about agenda? Okay. Okay, so I'm muting you all. So if you guys have any questions, please drop in a QA session. Okay. So, okay, guys, see, first of all, let's talk about what is continuous integration. I mean, before that, I hope for this session, I'm hoping that you guys had a basic idea about Git, Maven, and a little bit about Linux. Okay, so otherwise this session is a little bit difficult, but I'll try to cover as much as I can. But you should know these tools before. I think Raish already covered those. Okay, if not, please take a look at the videos. Okay, online. Okay, so let's talk about what is continuous integration. Okay, so guys, let's go back to 10 years back. There was nothing like continuous integration or Jenkins or something. So in past, so people follow the waterfall model, right? So how it works is, let me draw it. So in waterfall model, right? Okay, usually there are one developer or more. I mean, in past, like a decade ago, I mean, when in 2000, right? So in waterfall model, there are a couple of people or three people max and working on one small Java project or C project or some C++, and then they try to build the package using traditional compilers, and then they deploy to QA, and then deploy to production. So this is how the typical life cycle of how the code get built and deployed to production in waterfall model. So this life cycle is going to be around 6 months to 1 year. That's how they done the development in past. So but that is not really working out, right? So what they did was they moved to agile model uh, where businesses get benefited out of products, so where you can release projects quickly. And also, as technology growing, the project becoming complex, like the number of features are more and the project becoming complex, and number of developers is getting grows as well. Like now, in each project at least there are hundreds of developers working on the same project. Okay, and then in agile model you have to deliver the project within month, within either 2 weeks or monthly releases. That is where we deliver the product. So the phase is a little bit faster than in waterfall model, not a little bit, far faster than a little bit, I mean, comparing with waterfall model. So when hundreds of developers are working with one project, okay, and then they need to build the project, okay, they need to build it, and then they need to run the unit test cases, and they need to package it, and then they need to deploy to one of the sorry. So one of the QA environment, and also followed by um, production, right? So assume you have to do this process manually, right? It is not feasible, and it's not reliable, and there is a much error prone, and it takes a lot of manpower, right? So hundreds of developers working if you have to do manual process, right? So you you have to spend a lot of time in each phase to do that, execute that steps. So if hundreds of developers are working on the same okay project, right, that become hard day by day. So there's a so that's not also, you have to automate this process. So for that reason they came up with a concept called continuous integration. So what is continuous integration? The continuous integration is CI is automation of, is software. First of all, it's a software methodology. And automation of build, run the test, okay, run the test, and then deploy it, I mean, deploy the code. Okay, this is called continuous integration. So what is continuous integration? So whatever we talked about in Agile, right? So to automate this all process is called continuous integration. Okay, so what are the benefits of continuous integration, right? So for example, if there are 100 developers are working on same project, right? So if I assume the you have to commit the code to the same repository. So if some issues out there, right, if we automate this process, so what it does is there is either one of the CI tools, what it does is it will build the code, okay, and it will run the test cases, and it will deploy to one of the integration environment, and if any issues, right, it will send the feedback to the developers, so that, hey, you know what, I found the issue in your code fix, or in your code feature, I mean your in your code. So the feature you developed, the bug you fix, so that also had some issues. Please go ahead and fix it. So that's what it helps it. So it gives the quicker feedback, okay, and also we get more trust. So we don't need to worry about, okay, we work on the project, okay, this guy checking the code, and you don't bother, like, so you don't need to bother about what other guys are working on, because the other guys are also gonna check in the code into this, and then it will perform the build, and it will run the same test cases, and if any issues, that will be notified to everyone saying that, hey, when this guy code is checked in, there is an issue, please go ahead and fix it, or try to talk with this guy and then find out what is the issue with the integration part. So the benefits of this one is you can get the trusted builds, okay, and you don't need to worry about a long term. Okay, let me put it. So the trusted builds, okay, we know more visibility on what is going on with with project, and so don't need to wait for issues, okay, you will find out right away, and feedback loop. So whenever something breaks, it will send an email. Whenever something working fine, it also sends an email saying that, hey, everything looking good, go ahead and deploy to the okay, higher environments. Okay, now let's see what is Jenkins. Okay, so
Hello, Guru. I have a question on this. Can I ask? Hello.
okay, go ahead. Let me unmute all. Okay, because I mean you joined little late, so you got access. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Guru, still I cannot understand what is the benefit of DevOps concept over Agile methodology. Don't you think in Agile we didn't do automation, we don't do, we don't get the visibility, or the developer don't get the automation task in Agile methodology. It is only happen in DevOps concept. It is not available in Agile. Is it true?
Okay, here you go. Okay, that's a very good question. So I'm letting you know in common perspective. So DevOps, Agile is falls under DevOps. So DevOps is more than Agile. Okay. So DevOps is subcomponent of, Agile is subcomponent of DevOps. So DevOps helps the project in terms of getting delivered within the time. Is that clear? So is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay,
So
so when I'm
there
talking
is
about
no.
Agile, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. What
So
is your question again?
so there is no advantages. We cannot say that we have more advantages in DevOps rather than in Agile, right?
Okay, right. I mean, so as I told you, Agile is a subcomponent of DevOps. DevOps will also help the Agile methodology to speed up the delivering the product to the customer. That's what it's all about. So whatever the process, you take DevOps or Agile or some XYZ. So all these things are to help the business in terms of delivering the product quicker to the customers. So that's all about. So where what is CI? CI is helps in terms of automating all that process. Either it is in Agile, or is it in Lean, or either it is in DevOps. Okay, that was an example how the people were. I mean, just how it works in Agile methodology or DevOps methodology. So let me go ahead and okay.
Just last question. If someone asks me, is there any example which is not available in the Agile, it is the beneficial of DevOps, then should I answer anything? Uh,
I
is
did
there
not get that question. What do you mean by
is
that?
there- if someone asks me, is there any beneficial of DevOps over Agile? So can I
Oh yeah.
answer, like, is there any answer available in market or?
Right. So, okay, let me quickly go through differences between Agile and DevOps. Then you will know better actually. So, I'll go through the points so that you know better what is Agile and DevOps. Okay. I got through. Okay, so generally, right? So in Agile, how the people does is okay. How the people does is very simple. Okay, so the customer comes up with the software requirement and he gives to the developer and ask for the delivery. Okay, so now in this concept, there is no DevOps guy comes into picture. Okay, and then but in DevOps, what DevOps does is now it will help you to I mean fill the gap between the developer and then customer, along with adding functionality of operations and infrastructure. Okay, so that is called Agile versus DevOps. So DevOps is, as I told you, right? DevOps will help Agile in terms of delivering the product. Is that clear? I mean, is that make sense?
Uh, Still no, but I will go through this link.
Oh, no, I mean, okay. Let me put this way. So one
Hey, Guru,
customer.
can you say that? Sorry, Guru, can you say that DevOps is a part of the Agile?
Yes, of course, it is.
Okay,
I told you it's a subcomponent.
subcomponent of Agile. Okay.
So it will give the visibility of operations into your Agile, because previously, no one talks about DevOps. So the development plus operations, yeah, that's pretty much right. Okay. So now let's back to the topic again. Okay. So what is Jenkins? Okay, Jenkins is a Jenkins is a Java-based application which enables continuous integration. So what is continuous integration? The process of automating the build and run the test cases and deploy the code to the different environments automatically. That is called the continuous integration. So what is Jenkins? Jenkins is a Java-based application which enables the continuous integration. Okay. And sometimes it's also called build tool. Okay, build automation tool and scheduler. Automated tool, I mean automation. Okay, build automation tool, scheduler, and then what else is called? A CI server. So these are the common words has been used in the organizations. So why Jenkins is so popular, and what are other alternatives to Jenkins? Okay, so there are. So there are multiple alternatives out there for Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, Drone, okay, BuildBot. There are maybe intense actually, Travis. Okay, so there are a lot of tools out there. So why Jenkins is so popular, and why not others? So all of them have their own pros and cons. But coming to the Jenkins, Jenkins is an open source. Okay, and it has large community support comparatively. Large community support compared to any other tool. So TeamCity and Bamboo and all these tools are proprietary okay tools. So you need a kind of license, or you need to buy the licenses in order to use them. But with the Jenkins, no, you can download it from internet, and you can do your integrations. You can add more functionality if you see missing. So that's why it's become so popular. Okay, it has large community. Okay, and moreover, it is easy to set up, and literally you can do anything with using graphical user interface. You can set up everything. Technically, you can do all the stuff using GUI. Okay, and then it has more than 1400 plugins. So to do your job, okay, so there are a lot of tools out there, and it is moreover extensible. Okay, if you find okay, if you find something not there, that the feature is not okay there, you can write your own plugin and integrate with the core functionality of the Jenkins. Okay, and then moreover, it's a distributed. Okay, so what has been distributed? So for example, so today you have 10 projects on your Jenkins server. Now you have only 2 nodes. So if as the project grows, or as organization grows, the number of projects grows. So it cannot handle the one server cannot handle, or 1 or 2 servers. So you need to add more nodes. Okay, so for that, Jenkins, there is a concept called master slave. So you can add number of slave, you can add more slaves to distribute the load, and to help the server, to help the organization. Okay, so that is called a distributed. So we'll go through this one by one later in the stage as part of the okay installation process. Okay, and this was okay. So I think in 2004, okay, this project was previously called Hudson. And once okay, they called it that, they started working as a Hudson as a build tool or CI tool, and then so Oracle okay, Oracle bought the Hudson, and they changed the license okay, licensing thing. So what then? People cannot now go and change their core components. So what it's very hard. So you cannot change the licensing. The basic core functionality. So it's not an open source anymore. You will not have access to their I mean their current code. So what the guy called Koshike in 2011, he forked that Hudson and made it open source. Now thousands of people contributing to that Jenkins every day, and there are, as I told you, more than 1400 plugins which are there, which helps Jenkins to grow up in terms of rich functionality. So take whatever name, so that there is a plugin available for that feature. Okay, so and then okay, and so there is a Jenkins open source and Jenkins Enterprise. So Jenkins Enterprise is by owned by Cloudbees. So the Koshike works for the Cloudbees company as an architect. So they provide Jenkins Enterprise. Pretty much you can do whatever the organizations needed using Jenkins open source, but Jenkins Enterprise has also some better features like customizing the Jenkins theme or high availability, and then paid support. So this will come up with the Jenkins Enterprise. Other than that, Jenkins open source has pretty much most of the features, 99.9% of the features at Jenkins Enterprise. So the Jenkins Enterprise comes up with the support and high availability. So if you care about your Jenkins uptime, So you cannot use open source because that is self-hosted. So it may go wrong at any point of time based on either resource issue or something. So that time on your own. But if you use Jenkins Enterprise, the support team guys are gonna jump on it and then try to fix the Jenkins issues. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, before heading to the Jenkins installation process, any questions, guys? I'm unmuting you again. Hello.
Now, does it have any database installed in it? Or?
No, it is a flat file system. Everything in the XML files.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have a question on this Jenkins Enterprise. So does that mean, like, let's say suppose we take the Jenkins Enterprise license, so they will deploy the Jenkins master slave on our premise, or it'll be again like on their site?
So it's
will
optional. So anywhere, it is up to you, your decision. They can host on their own cloud, or they will able to help you to deploy it on your infrastructure, right? Either your physical servers, or it's up to you. But it's all about license. It doesn't matter where it is going to be, but you can opt for whatever the option you want it. They will give you an option.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
What is the latest version of Jenkins?
It's a 2.7. Is a good question. So I thought of going through during the but anyway, it's a 2.7x something. Okay, so that's a minor versions we can take a look at later. But remind, guys, there are two releases: stable releases and weekly or nightly. I have to check weekly or nightly releases. So always go ahead and download the stable releases because that has been well tested by the community. And weekly or nightly, so they add new features every day and every night. That might not be tested with all other plugins, the dependent plugins. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
A general question: how many day it will take to learn Jenkins tool?
Depends on your pace of learning. It takes from a day to couple of weeks to get a basic idea of Jenkins, and to get expertise, it will take 6 months at least, and you have to work on real-time projects to get that expertise. But
to only prepare for an interview, how many days it will take?
Max, see, after this session, you need to spend a couple of days in practicing and going through all this documentation. That's it. A couple of days more enough for an interview perspective.
And
Okay.
one
And
more.
what is the website?
Sorry?
Is there any website which provides Jenkins interview questions, or do you recommend anything?
No, you have to go through the materials, but again, we have okay, so we have pretty good documentation on this site. Okay, I will share with you guys as part of notes. You can go here and you can watch interview questions and all these sample projects and training tutorials and the PDF slides, the different slides, how the organization built their.
No, apart from DevOpsschool.com, I'm asking just on your experience if you suggest something.
I usually Google it, or I will go through the Jenkins.io. That is pretty good place to learn. That's other than that, always go and Google it, man. That's you will find tons of resources other than DevOps school. And I can also go through the Jenkins.io. That is the official website of Jenkins. So you can find a lot of materials. On YouTube, especially, watch the yearly conferences and learn about it and read more articles. That's it. You'll become day to day. I mean, someday you'll become an expert with that. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have one question. So I have seen most of the open source projects, like they use Travis CI for continuous integration. So do you have any idea like why like they opt for Travis CI?
Very good
Just
question. So the Travis is the pretty latest one. So the okay, it why it became popular? Because it has the default integrations with GitHub. Okay, so and also a lot of open source people, they try to integrate their I mean the GitHub projects with Travis CI. Simple projects. So you don't have okay. So think about it. If you're working on one project, the any tool can work. Okay, you can take you're going to go with simple and easy ones. Okay, that is one of the Traverse CA does. So they are pretty simple. For example, if your organization is small and if you guys are using some Bitbucket, Jira, Confluence, and that stack, right? So you don't really need to go with the Jenkins. There is another CA tool which is tightly integrated with the tool set with the company called Bamboo. So if you use that, you can get a lot of benefits out of it than using Jenkins. But if your organization has multiple version controls tools like they use SVN, CVS, Perforce, or multiple build tools like one guy use Java. Sorry, multiple. I mean multiple projects, right? Multiple Java code. I mean multiple codes like Java, .NET, Ruby, Python. So you cannot integrate all these tools with these tools because these are not doesn't have that community support. Okay, so they have their own restrictions of implementing additional features. So Traverse maybe in future it might, but so far Jenkins is a monopoly of CI environment.
okay.
Any other question, guys? Okay, so having said so far we gone through what is CA. I mean CA is automation of again quickly build and test cases and deploying your code in automated fashion. And Jenkins is a CA tool and it's a Java based. Keep in mind that. So why another reason why Jenkins is very popular. So wherever you can run the Java, you can run the Jenkins. So it's not same case with other tools. So some tools are Ruby based, some tools are Python based, some tools are specific to restricted to language. So you might not efficiently use as Jenkins in different platforms. So if you have Tomcat installed, you can simply take this Jenkins.war file and then deploy it. And okay, and this is also called CA server, and these are the features of Jenkins. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on Jenkins installation. Okay, so as I'm gonna install the Jenkins as a service today on CentOS, actually Red Hat. So I'm going to create one VM. Okay, let's create a fresh VM so that you guys know what exactly required to get the Jenkins installed on CentOS 7. Okay, I think AWS account is got locked, so let me go ahead and create in digital version. Okay, sorry. I'm going to create one CentOS 7 server and then we'll start installing the Jenkins and take it from there.
Is the digital ocean free to? We can create any VMs there?
Oh, no, yeah, these are paid.
Paid ones, okay.
Actually, I have AWS account. That account is locked. I have to unlock it. Sorry.
Hey, Guru, other alternative is Google Cloud, right?
Yeah, Google Cloud. You can use Azure. Yeah, anything. You can use anywhere you can get the VM, wherever you can get the VM. So that would be. So I'm gonna call it as a Jenkins master. I'm gonna buy for an hour, right? Okay, the server is ready. So I'm gonna connect to this server. This is a demo or training Jenkins master. And use my SH key. That's it. Perfect. Okay. So remember, guys. Okay. So Jenkins is a Java-based application. So to 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 install it, there is a dependency. You need to install JDK. Okay, and also you can install this Jenkins if you have a Tomcat or a JBoss or anything. You can sorry, JBoss or any other applications, any other Java application server. Okay, you can take the var file and then deploy it. Okay, and for now I'm gonna install the Jenkins using RPM. Okay, Jenkins RPM. So what it does is, so it has its own application server. So it's called Jetty. So that is the Java-based application server too, the lightweight application server comparing with the JBoss and Tomcat. So that will run the Jenkins for us. Okay. So in order to install the Jenkins, okay, let me quickly go through the okay, let's I'll share a link with you guys. Jenkins. Okay.
So Guru, I mean, to install a Jenkins on a Linux machine, we have to have Java plus JBoss server. I mean, web server, Java server.
Of course, of course. Java server is mandatory for a Java application. That's right.
Okay.
So you know, right? You cannot host JVM is mandatory for JVM Java-based projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, to install the Java, okay, you take this command. I will provide you the link as part of notes. Okay, you can click on -y, go ahead and give a couple of minutes to get all the dependencies installed along with the Java. Okay, so now Java is installed. You can check using Java-version. Okay, now Java is installed on the CentOS 7, and then so in order to get the Jenkins RPM, okay, so you need to get the yum repo. Okay, and then it's a certificate to talk to the Jenkins server. So this is where Jenkins RPM exists. Okay, and then you just use yum install Jenkins. That will install the Jenkins for you. So if you want a specific version, you can do that too. So let me show you. Yamh before that, I'll show you one more thing. Okay, let's go ahead and look at a Jenkins download page. Actually, I need to let you know, guys, what version will be installing. So here you go. So there are two types of, okay, if you go to Google and then or if you go to jenkins.io/download, you can download the Jenkins from there. Okay, so there are two types of releases, LTS and weekly. LTS is every 3 months and weekly is every week. It's not tested with the it's not certified by the community, but it has its unit test cases or something, so you can still trust it, but not as LTS. Okay, most of the organizations, I mean, not most, all the organizations will go with the LTS releases. So there are multiple ways you can install the Jenkins. You can deploy to Azure using self-hosting technology of CloudBees. They are partners, and also you can use the Jenkins. You can download the Docker image for Jenkins, and then you can install. And then for any other Tomcat, JBoss, or any other Java application servers, you can use this war file and then put it in the web root folder. That will automatically, I mean, if you restart your service, that will automatically unpackage it, and then your Jenkins service is going to be up and running. So for now, we are going to use Red Hat Linux. So we got it already, RPM. We are going to get that from here only. So the release is going to be so we are going to install the okay, well, 2.16. What is that? 164. Let's see. What is that? 164, guys. Okay. So I'm sorry, not 2.74. 2.74 was little holder, so it's a 164.
Guru,
Okay.
can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
In that web page, you can go to website.
Okay.
Yeah. Here it mentioned Jenkins you are available for Docker and some operating system, XYZ, whatever. But it is not means only one tool is available, Docker. Like that, Jenkins is like integrate with Ansible or say Puppet. That list is not mentioned here, so Jenkins will not support in for support for configuration management, configure and continuous testing tools, and some other tools.
I did not get your question quite right. So maybe, okay, let me put this way. Okay, you can use Ansible and Puppet tools to install the Jenkins in one of these environments. Okay.
These are kind of environment, right? Docker is also environment or is a container?
It's a container, but at the end of the day, it's going to run on the infrastructure, right? So that is the one environment, the Docker environment.
Okay.
Docker, I mean, at the end of the day, it's, if you call it as a service or container or whatever it is, but it's end of the day, it's on one of the physical servers or one of the missions, right? So your this in this case, your Jenkins is going to run as a container, okay? Okay, and then you need to access through the Jenkins sorry, Docker host specific port in order to access the Jenkins. But coming to your question, so if you're talking about can't we use Ansible or Puppet to install the Jenkins? Yes, you can. Again, you need to choose one of the method, and then you need to write your playbooks or manifest accordingly to install the Jenkins. Is that clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, now let's go and install 2.164, right? It's a 2.164.2. Okay, let's this one. Okay, let me write it down for you guys so that as part of the notes, you know what we did.
Put the link also, the web page.
I will put it. I'll put that one too. But just for safe side, without worrying about that link, I'm gonna put you the instructions so that. Okay. Right. Now you install the Jenkins. How do you know that is successfully installed? You can always go ahead and check status of the service. Okay. What is the service? Jenkins is the service. It's not up yet. Okay. Tail minus F where log. So your Jenkins logs is going to be under Jenkins.log. Sorry, 1 second. So I have to run that Jenkins as a sudo. That's because Jenkins run as a Jenkins user. So you have to make sure that it escalates the privileges. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at. Okay. So sorry. To check the status of Jenkins service, you can type okay systemctl Jenkins and see if that is running or not. So active and running. It started 35 minutes ago. There are no there are no error logs. Okay, that means everything is up and running fine. So you can find the logs here. Okay, so ls var log Jenkins.log. This is the log file for Jenkins. You can go ahead and see what is happening with the Jenkins service. And also you can always check for ps-a grep Java. This is tells you either Jenkins is up and running, and Jenkins always runs on port 8080 unless until you specifically mention different port. That will always run on 8080, and if it is HTTPS, it is going to run on 8443. Okay, now let's get this IP address. Okay, and then go ahead and see if the Jenkins is up. Okay. Here you go. So Jenkins started up. Okay, so now, so as part of the Jenkins setup, so now you need to get the initial password for setup. Okay, let's go ahead and get the initial password. Okay, so before proceeding setup, I want to tell you a few more things. Okay, so by default, Jenkins doesn't come up with the features. It is a tool, or it is a tool. It is called broker or integrator. So even it doesn't know Git. So what you need to do, know, okay, Jenkins, to use the Git, you need to install the Git. So you need to tell that, hey, here is my plugin, Git plugin. Here is my tool set. Okay, please help me out with the build process. So Jenkins doesn't know anything. You need to tell the Jenkins. You need to configure the Jenkins to do what you want to accomplish. So it's the core features. It has the features to work with the plugins and the work with additional functionality, and it has some default features like creating jobs, creating that, and managing slaves. But there are some core functionality. Other than that, there are thousands of tools outside. So if you want to add that functionality to okay, Jenkins, you need to write a plugin. So for that, you need to install the plugin. Install the plugin and you need to configure it, okay, and then use it. So this is the basic implementation of Jenkins. So assume for example, to accomplish the build pipeline, build continuous integration, I mean CI pipeline, right? So what, see, as part of CI pipeline, what steps are there? You need to check out the source code, right? So I mean, you know, you need to know where is your code. Okay, what is your code repository management system? Either Git, SVN, or Perforce, or okay, Perforce, or whatever it is, a TFS, VSTS. Okay, so you need all these plugins to install in order to support that checking out the source code. And as part of the build, okay, builder, I mean build tools. So you need to use, I mean, I assume like you have apps like Java, okay, Ruby, Python, okay, or .NET, C#, take any technology. So you need to have some version code management system called this one, and some build tools like Maven, Yant, or Nant for Windows, okay, or MSBuild for Windows, or Gradle for Java, or Python for Python, or Ruby for Ruby. Okay, so you need to have this kind of plugins installed to support that functionality in the Jenkins too. And also after that, deployment, right? So you need to have shell script. It comes with the default, okay, that is a default that has functionality. And if you're using Ansible, you need to use Ansible plugin, and Puppet, or Chef, or some etc. So there are a lot of outs there. And as part of okay, test cases, you need to install JUnit, okay, or SonarQube. So there are a lot of tools, check style, there are a lot of tools out there. And for notification finally, so you need to install plugins like email, Slack, Skype, I mean whatever available. So what I mean to say is Jenkins, in order to get that our work accomplished, you need to install the plugins and configure it. Okay, now let's go back to the installer process. So now, so there are two ways. you can install the plugins to extend the basic Jenkins features. Okay, so either you can use the suggested plugins. Okay, this will almost install whatever we need to work on for this session, and also you can also select the list of the plugins what you want to install. Okay, so there are 1400 plugins available, guys. Okay, so you need to go through each one and then you can install it. For now, I'm going ahead with installing suggested plugins. So there's a folders plugin, timestamper, pipeline, git, pam, and mailer. Sorry. So there are multiple plugins. So matrix authorization plugin, sh slaves plugin, and plugin, email, LDAP, GitHub. So there are there are tons of plugins out there. So whatever we need it for this session, I think mostly it has it. If it doesn't have it on our way, we'll go ahead and look for it and then install it and configure it if required. Any questions so far? Guys, any questions?
No.
So are you guys following me?
Yeah.
Session clear? I just want to get the quick feedback before getting onto the Jenkins jobs and going through the actual demo.
So far, I've been able to follow.
Cool. Thanks. Okay, there you go. So first, I'm going to create username Guru, and then I'm going to confirm my password. And I'm Guru. My email is guru@devopsschool.com. Okay, and save and continue. So usually you will have some host name. You can give. So I'm gonna mute you all again. Sorry, someone is making noise. Sorry. Okay. So so usually in organizations, you will have host name. For now, we'll go ahead with the IP address. If you want to update your IP address, here is the place you need to update your host name, and then click on save and finish. That's it. So now our beautiful Jenkins dashboard is gonna come up. Here you go, clear. So at quick glance at the dashboard, here is the main links which are useful as part of Jenkins usage. So a new item, it's gonna help you out to create the new jobs or folders or project structure, whatever it is, the dashboards view and stuff, and manage Jenkins. It will it will have all the administration stuff related to Jenkins, like configuring the tools, backup, or managing the security, managing the users or whatnot, and build history. So it will give the list of build statuses for last based on your configuration. So it will show all the history of your builds, and also the people who are logged in, and also people what kind of access they have, and if you use AD and all this stuff, this is helpful. And also views, you can customize the views, because in organizations there are thousands of people out there, so and thousands of jobs are being created, so you don't need to look at all of them. So you can create your custom view related to your project if you're not using the project folder, so that you can use your own view. Again, I will show you, don't worry. The credentials plugin, so this plugin is very useful when you are using you are using when you're trying to store the passwords and usernames, tokens, or private keys, any secrets you need to send it to as part of the Jenkins build process or deployment process. You need to use this plugin. Okay, and then here this is the section your information, who logged in. Okay, and if when you click on that, you can get your information related to that user, and you can configure it. There are some tokens. Okay, it's not part of this session anyway. This is we will go through them again when we have the time at the end of the session. If not, we'll cover it in as part of advanced Jenkins concepts. Okay, and then apart from that, okay, so this is the Jenkins version you will see here. Okay, and pretty much that's it. So now let's go back and let's start creating the build pipeline, starting with the one job, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Okay. Now, now I'm gonna work on one Java project as part of demo. So okay, here you go. So as part of Java project, okay, my code is in like assume there are 10 developers are working. Okay, 10 developers are working on my Java project. Okay, name called demo app. Okay, that is Java based project. My code is in GitHub. So I use Git as version control tool and GitHub as a Git server, where I push my code. All my 10 developers will push the code to the shared GitHub repo. And then I use Maven as a build tool. So I already wrote the pom.xml file that. And then I got the JUnit test cases. So now whatever the code these 10 people are writing down, they write the test cases which which checks for their features. So whatever the code they develop, they create the test cases. So as part of that, we run the JUnit test cases. They run the JUnit to analyze the test cases, and also we are going to package that as jar or war file, and then okay, run the code analysis, static code analysis. Okay, sorry. And using SonarQube. So what it does is, so it will take my code and it will look for any bugs, any duplicate code, anything which violates the security standards, or the Java definitions, the Java docs, and all this stuff. This will help to find out the find out the guy who causing the issues, or maintaining the poor code standards, and help the organization in terms of securing or getting the better code. Okay, and then
one question here.
oh,
Should we not run the static code analysis before like building the jar?
you can technically, that's where you do. I'm sorry. I mean, usually that's okay. You can do that. Either way is fine. Okay. I mean, the reports are already generated as part of Maven. Okay.
Okay.
So you just need to send it to the SonarQube server. Okay, I might.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's anyway. Okay. Okay, and then deploy to Dave, and then deploy to integration environment. And then deploy to acceptance, and then manual approval, and then deploy to prod. So this is the life cycle of my project. So once the developers check in their code, okay, every minute, so or every day, what my project, what my Jenkins job. So I'm going to create Jenkins jobs for all this. What my Jenkins job is going to do is it is going to check out the source code from GitHub, and it's going to build it, and it is going to run the test case. I mean, it's as part of Maven, it's going to run the test cases and do the code analysis, and it package it and war file and jar file, push it to Nexus, okay, and then from there you deploy to the dev or integration environment, and then acceptance, and then deploy to prod. So we're not going to discuss about this. This is part of continuous delivery, okay. So for now, till deploy to acceptance. So in any of this process, if something fails, then we are going to send out okay, communication to the developers. Okay. So having said that, if you guys don't have any questions, I will go ahead and start creating one quick job, and we'll take it from there. Any questions, guys?
Yes, sir. I have one question, but once you.
Sure. Okay. You can ask me later. That's fine.
This because something related with the.
Sorry. I did not get your question. So what was that? I speaking? Okay.
Yes. How do I get pass parameters from Git?
What? I did not get that. What was that? How did we get the parameters for Git?
How can I pass a Jenkins parameter from Git?
Yes, that is called webhook. So I mean, it's not pass. You are gonna kick off the job. Yes. Answer is yes. Okay. Let's demo project. The project is called demo project, and the first is gonna be check out build. Okay. Okay. So that's called P. So we as a first step, we're gonna build the project. So Jenkins. Okay. So whatever the things you create in Jenkins is called a job. Okay. So it's a build job, or package job, or deploy job, or some sysadmin job, or some task. So you call it as a job, everything as a job. So in most of the organizations, you create a folders for each project, okay, and then underneath you can create the jobs. But for now, I'm going to create it here. So I'm going to choose as a freestyle. So that's a default project, and you can call the build. I mean, you can configure whatever you want in the Jenkins job. Okay, pre-build, that's a build job. Okay, I could have been called build job. Okay, I'll rename it later. Okay. Okay. So if you see on the top, for every job, there are 5 sections. One is general. This is where it's a metadata of your job, or your whatever the task you want to do, whatever you want to try to accomplish using this job configuration. So this job is build the code. So, and then there is a section called source code management. So where is, you need to tell this Jenkins job where is your source code, either it is in Git or SVN or Perforce or TFS or wherever it is, and then you need to configure that. and then there is a section called okay, I'll come back to that. So there's a section called build. So this is where you need to tell either what is your build tool, either Ant or Maven or Gradle or whatever the build tool you want to use. Okay, and then okay, and then there is a post build action. So there's the next section is post build. So what happens after the build? So do you want to kick off another job, or if something fails, do you want to send out notification to the developers? So you define, you configure it based on your requirement. So for now, my job, okay, and then okay, let me come back this one. Okay, before going there, build triggers. So this is the what is my build triggers. So when you want to get this job triggered, so either nightly, every day, or there's a poll SCM. This is what famous Jenkins is for. So you can tell Jenkins, hey, run this job every day at night, some 9 p.m. Every day, okay, every day at 9 a.m. Okay, in the format of cron. So what it does is every hour, so every hour it will go ahead and run this okay job. So or if you wanna run it specific day, you can mention like so minute, hour, day of the month, and month. Okay, and then week. Okay, how many days you want to build. Okay, let's assume I want to build every day at 9. Okay, see, so if I want to build every day at 9 a.m., so I will just put okay, every day at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Run the job today at okay, today this one and this one. Okay, this is what build periodically. So, and there's a concept called poll SCM. Okay, this is famous for, this is why famous Jenkins is so famous. So you tell Jenkins when you want to trigger the job. Poll SCM, what it does mean. So you can put like, okay, every 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes, check in my GitHub. If someone else doing the changes, then trigger the job. Every 2 minutes, check for that. So you can also tell, okay, every day at 5 p.m. Okay, every day at 5 p.m. Okay, check for the people changes, and then if any changes to there, then trigger. If not, just ignore, don't build it. Okay, and also you can tell one more thing, GitHub hook trigger. So you can tell, hey, if someone check in to my my GitHub repo, trigger this Jenkins job. Okay, and also you can whenever someone create a pull request, and also you can say when other projects are built, and trigger builds remotely if you want to do manual I mean through API or some other scripts from different tool. So these are the build triggers. Okay, and build environment. So these are the okay, these are the you need to prepare the build environment. For example, if your build need usernames or passwords, or if you want to add the timestamps, and if the build doesn't respond within some time, just discard it. Okay, for now don't worry about all this. Okay, for now what we are going to do is we are going to use the git. Okay, and here we go, we get the source code. Okay, so by the way, this SCM Galaxy, this is okay, our repository where our project is been checked in. So this is a public repo, so I don't need to have any credentials, so I can just use this. And then here you go. So it's saying error performing the commit to this one. What does that mean? So we installed the Git plugin, but we did not install the Git on the server, as I told you. So if you remember correctly, so you need to install the plugin, and you need to okay, and also you need to install it on the server. and configure it. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the okay Git. Let's check if Git is there or not. So Git is not there. Okay, you need to install the Git in order to use that plugins on the UI. Sorry, install git -y. Okay, now you see, now that error will go away. Okay, don't worry about that, it will go away. Okay, this is a public, so, and this is a master branch, and that's it. Click on apply and save. Don't worry about all the options, we'll go through them later again. Okay, and go ahead and click on build now.
Guru, I have a question.
Wait for a minute. Okay, so once you configure that, okay, so you need to click if you want to run that build, you need to click on build now, so that will trigger the job. Okay, and here is the console output, so you need to click on that ball, so it will take you to the that job specific okay, the job specific log. So this is the build number 1. So okay, and if you want to have a closer look at it, what happened, so in the workspace it checked out the code, and that's it, it finished it successfully. Okay, go ahead, what's your question?
Guru, can you go back and look at the parameters, how what you set for this job?
Parameters?
I mean, yeah, I mean, what is the configuration we set for this job?
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll show that. Okay, cool. So, okay, let me show you as you asked. So okay, once that is build is done, you will see the success bar. That success, it is green or okay, green or blue. Okay, blue. If you install the plugins, that will change as green. And if you want to look at the job configuration, there is a section called configure. So this is build specific links. So configure, rename, build, workspace. Workspace is the place whatever the project, the job specific files are going to be checked out, are been generated as part of the build process. And build now is the one which actually triggers job. Okay, now let's go to configure. Okay, so what was your question again? Could you please repeat?
No, I want to see, I mean, what has been we set it for this job, what parameters. So
okay, I will go to the main. So as part of the Jenkins job, so I just okay, this project is all about this, you know what is the general data, right? It's about the what my page is passed. Can you guys see my screen?
yeah, we can see.
Hey, such a Bharat, Karan, I think it's a issue with your GoToMeeting. I think please try to rejoin. Okay, cool. Maybe internet issue. Okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry guys, sorry for interruption. So this is about job. So check out the source code. Okay, so in the job, so where is your source code? So our source code is in Git, so in GitHub. So we just give the GitHub URL. So how to get the GitHub URL? If you go to, okay, let me go from here. Okay,
Can I copy this URL?
okay, you can copy that URL. So I think I hope you guys already gone through the Git session, right? So this is where you can get the repository URL. You get that, and then a copy here. Okay. and then that's it. That's checking out the source code.
Okay. So, Guru, I mean, here we are building, right? Build means we are not. Are we doing Maven with Maven this? Or are we just pulling the source code here?
For now, just putting the source code. So check out
Okay.
source code. Okay.
Okay.
So okay, I will go through the rest of the stuff. Okay, in a minute. Okay.
I have got the question. Should I ask?
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You in the server you install Git, but you are using GitHub. So GitHub is it integrated with Git?
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I think it's I mean it's not okay. Let me put this way. GitHub is the Git server, right?
Yes.
Okay, where you host your Git code. Okay, so the Git plugin. So the Git plugin only cares about what is the URL for my Git code. So if you give that Git URL, either it is in GitHub or Bitbucket or some on your own GitHub hosting repository, it doesn't matter. If it is a public repository, it will get the code. So Git is a generic client tool. It doesn't matter. It works with any hosting provider. Is that clear? Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Now it's 10:11 a.m. Right? Let's take a 15 minutes break. Okay, and then we'll come back and we'll go through building using Maven through Jenkins, and also JUnit test cases and Sonar Cube and deploying to Nexus and I mean more or less we'll see all this remaining agenda. Okay, and we'll go through the Jenkins administration too. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know now. So
Yeah.
when we're back,
Uh,
we'll just
One question.
go ahead.
So by like end of our demo, you'll will be seeing like the way the pipelines are staged, right? First
Of
build,
course.
then
So I'm going to
okay,
create a build pipeline view. So you will see all the steps in
each individual
pipeline.
stage, kind of like
Yeah,
after one after other. Okay, perfect.
yeah. So I mean,
No,
I just so for now we are here. So later we are going to create all other jobs, and then you will
that is
see
fine.
beautiful pipeline later.
Super. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So I'm going to going on mute, and I will gonna come back after 15 minutes. Okay, let's take a break for 15 minutes and then come back. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, it's at 10:24. Let's give a couple of more minutes. Hey, okay, guys, I hope everyone is back. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with the remaining stages. Okay, I'm gonna create a job for Maven, compiling the code. Okay. Hey guys, can you please give me quick confirmation everyone is back? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, nice. I just because I can't hear anyone, so just okay.
Yeah, Guru, we are
You
here.
guys again. Okay. Okay. Cool. So just before going to that, just I want you guys aware of what is the Maven life cycle. So as part of build process using Maven, so it always validates the code, compile the code, and run the test code. I mean, run the test cases and package it. So a package means like either war file or jar file, whatever you mentioned in the XML file. Okay, a jar file in our case, and then verify that. So if any verification criteria, like, so if you can set the limits, that is not part of this topic, but you can set the sonar cube limits, so that if it meets this criteria, then only qualify this build as successful, otherwise just fail it. And then install. So what it does is it will build the var file or jar file, and it will put in our .m2 repository. So whenever whenever we install Maven, that will also create the local Maven repository, so where it will cache all our project artifacts and then deploy. So what is meant by deploy in this case is deploying to one of the repository management system, Artifactory, or the project Artifactory repository management systems like Artifactory or Nexus, or uh, some uh, 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 some other third-party repository management system. So that's what a deploy does. So it will take the var file or jar file, it will put it into the Nexus or Artifactory. So now So as part of the first step, what we got is we got the Java code from GitHub. Now we need to use Maven to compile it. Okay, so now let's create a job for compiling it.
Hey, Guru, quick question, Guru.
How come I did mute all, right? How come someone can still speak? That's interesting. Who is the Anwar?
Yeah. Just quick question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first build, right? So once we check out the code, it clone that code repository and it put in our local server, right? I mean, in the server, Jenkins server, right? What is which directory it is the code will be located?
Oh, perfect. Okay, let me go through that. Okay, so before that, okay, that's a very good question you asked even before I show it. Okay, but anyway, so usually this is how once you build the successful project, this is how the dashboard looks like. So this is the workspace. This is where all your code files are, the generated files will be saved here. So whatever related to this job under this folder only. Okay, if you go to workspace, you will see all these files. So where is this workspace? So if you want any details specific to this build, okay, so you need to go through the log. Okay, so usually it is gonna save under workspace. So where is it gonna be your workspace? It's gonna be under your Jenkins home. Okay, let me show you where is your Jenkins home before that. Okay, if you go to Jenkins and if you go to manage Jenkins, so you can get it from log. I will show that, but before that, I want you guys to familiar with this information too. So whatever related to Jenkins, that is going to be stored under var lib Jenkins. That's it. So if you're looking for some file, you have to go and look into this folder. Okay. Now let's go back to his question. So where is the current code has been checked out? Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the log. So okay, first who kicked off the job is a Guru. Okay, and where this project is being checking in, I mean where this project is checked out, sorry, where this project is checked out, this is the place. Okay, here we go, and let's copy this and we'll go and look into the server. We'll go and look in the server either it is really checked out or not. Okay, what happened after it cloned the git repository from this guy. Okay, it fetches all the tags, this is git stuff, and it checks out whatever the branch you say. Okay, it checks out the branch specific revision. That's it, and it will show what was the last commit message and then successful. Okay, let's go back and see if that is really checked out here or not. Okay, now what is this? Okay, here we go. Here is our files. Okay, is that answer your question, Anwar?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, any other question, guys? Okay, so now let's go back and do the compile job. Okay, new item, project called compile the code. So you know what, hey, can you please go on mute? Who is that? Let me mute Anwar. Okay. Okay, cool. I muted everyone. So you don't need to copy everything. Just you can copy. So how you can take the job and copy from that. Okay. Okay, new item. Okay, so this time we're gonna compile it. Okay, for that we're gonna create job as p compile code is a Maven and copy from pbuild. So it will copy the whatever the configuration which is in that job to the job, and then on top of it. So what we have to do now, we already we are going to check out the source code. So we are going to check out the source code, and then so you have to use a build tool. So in our case, what is our build tool? Maven is our build tool. Okay, and what we have to do Maven using Maven, you have to compile the code and then see your target is compile. So and then you need to click apply, okay, and save. Okay, here you go guys. So I'm gonna build it now. It is gonna fail. The reason is you did not install the Maven on the server, you just install the plugin, but I want to let it fail, and then we'll go ahead and install the Maven later in the stage. Okay, you know what, why it failed? Maven, there is no Maven here. So what was we discussed before, whatever you have to do, you need to install the plugin and you need to install that the software utility on the server and then configure it. Okay, so let's go back and look at mvn-version. So there is no Maven. So this time I'm not going to do install Maven because I can do using Jenkins too. I will ask Jenkins to install the Maven for me. So how we do that? So let's go back to Jenkins. Okay, and let's go to manage Jenkins, and let's go to the global tool configuration. So this is where you tell your Jenkins to install the required tools. Okay, and then it is gonna take care of the job for you. Okay, last time when we don't have Git on the server, we installed it, but this time I will ask I will ask Maven, I will ask Jenkins to install the Maven for me. So I'm going to install Maven. Okay, this time I'm going to ask, hey, go ahead and install Maven 3.6.1 for me. So install it automatically. This will take care of the job. So it will go and fetch the Maven Maven zip package from internet and then downloads it and uncompress it, unzip it, and then copy to the user local bin, and it does the job for you. Okay, so you can also instruct Jenkins to go through the manual steps, but that is not required at this moment. But go ahead and save it. So this time what it does is, okay, now let's go back to so now you install the Maven. Now let's look at a Jenkins job again and see if we can use that Maven which you configured as part of the Jenkins to run the job. Okay, advanced. Here you go. You see that? Sorry, it's on top. Okay, so you see that. So you can install how many versions you want using Jenkins. You tell Jenkins to install multiple versions, and you can choose one of the required Maven version, and then click on apply and save it. And when you click on the build now box, okay, build now button, if it is going to try to install, if it's not Maven there, it's going to install it, and then it will build the job for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Here you go. Now what it did was Jenkins also configured Maven for you, and then it compiled the code. Perfect. So when you do the when you do the Maven compile or Maven install or whatever the Maven step in on the first run, so it is the Maven itself needs to set up. It requires a lot of libraries. So it will, on the first run, it will go to the internet and download all the required packages and keep it in a .m2 repository. Okay, so let's go back and look at the job is finished successfully or not. Here you go. So let's go ahead and look at. Oh, you know what? It installed on where? Let me show you. So it is installed on here. Okay, so this one. So if you want to make it as a Maven available to the system, you can copy this. This is the, here you go. There you go. So the Maven version is 3.61. So if you want to make it this one to the global, you can copy that one to okay, CP. Okay, here you go. This is not required. Just I'm showing you guys in case why the first one was didn't work. So when I click on Maven my profile, by default it will look in user/local/bin. So that's the reason it did not work. So now if I do Maven version, now oh, you know what? I did a mistake. Okay, I need to symlink it. Not actually. This is required lot of libraries. Oh, okay, let's see. What?
Okay, it is ln hyphen l, right, for soft link.
Oh, not ls. Sorry, ln minus fs. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That is type of mistake. Okay. What? There's no directory. Okay, something wrong. I think I got it. Sorry, what is
No,
some?
on the first for itself, you have to write the source, then second the Maven one
Oh,
on the reverse way.
sorry, guys. Sorry. No, that's what I did, right?
First is source, second is destination.
Hmm,
Just change it. Yeah.
I think. Oh, okay. Let me. Okay. Did I forget? Not. No way. But anyway. Okay, something wrong, guys. Okay, I think I did not like that. Maybe something wrong with that link. But anyway, for now, let's not worry about that. But it does the job for us. If you want to do that other way around, what you can do is install Maven -y. So that is gonna install the Maven on the local system. So by default, Jenkins can use this one too. Okay, if you don't specify. Oh, user bin Maven. Okay. Uh, Here you go. Sorry, I was checking on the wrong place. Okay, this operating system is at here you go. So it installed 3.05. That is the stable release. Okay, but in our case we used 3.6.1. Okay, that could be another reason why it was not okay, fetching it out. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, in overall, so this is how it works. So we compile the code now. So what we are going to do now is we are going to create the we are going to run the test cases. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to copy it from compile. Oh, p compile code. Okay. Okay, p run test quick. Okay, and then freestyle project and copy here. Okay, and that's it. It's gonna create the okay. In this case, we are gonna run the test cases, right? For that, so what is the Maven life cycle? It's gonna be a test. Okay, and then come on. Okay, now in this case, now once you have the test, okay, once you have the test ready, you need to generate the reports, right? So you need to use a publish. So once the test is generated, so you need to okay. We'll come back to the job once we have the test case reports. Okay, let's run this one first. Okay, and we'll come back to that and we'll configure the surefire reports. Okay, let's click on build now. Okay, we messed up the Maven. That's fine. Let me okay, we messed up the Maven in different way. Okay, we simulated it wrong. Okay, for that what we can do is go back here. Okay, good that we screwed up, so we can tell okay which Maven to use. Okay, so for this reason I'm gonna click on okay, don't install manually. This is my Maven home. No, this is not Maven home. Which Maven? Let's install some 3.6.0 for now. Okay, I'm not gonna play with at this moment because we're gonna get late. Let's go back again. Okay. Okay, now let's look at workspace. Okay, it successfully ran the job. Okay, okay, so again once the Maven compiles the code and okay, and it will create the folder called target, and it will save the project outputs. Okay, so as part of this one, there are some surefire reports. Okay, so for that you need to, okay, now if you go back to the job again, okay, and okay, so now you can use the JUnit reporting. Okay, let's go ahead and configure the JUnit reporting plugin and to see what are the test cases they have wrote, and then what is the percentage of success. Okay, for that what you need to is you need to okay, you need to use okay the JUnit test result report, and you need to tell where is your surefire reports. Okay, that is going to be under where okay, let's go back again, let's go back to workspace. Okay, it is under target, under surefire reports. Okay, click on surefire I mean surefire reports and star.xml file, and then click on save, and make sure that rerun the job. So once you rerun the job, it will show the test results over here. Okay, now you see, so there are no failures in the test results. So if you go here, here you go, this is one test cases, one is passed, 0 fail, and total is 1. So run again, you can see the test result trend. Okay, so what was your question?
Yes. So after we run this test, right, JUnit test. So these results will be the report will be stored on the target target directory, right?
Correct. That's right.
Okay.
So yeah.
And why we are mentioning in the JUnit in the parameter there, the directory to display the output.
The directory.
Yeah, the target slash in the.
Okay, so as part of my Maven compile, okay, my surefire plugin is going to put that configuration under the target directory. That's where it will save the test results.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the place it will go ahead by default. It is going to go ahead and create the report and going to copy it over to this folder in the format of XML file. Okay. So that's Maven does that for me.
Okay.
So if you want to specify different target, you can always specify, and you need to customize the pom.xml file for that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so we went to 3 stages, right? Now let's before going to further stage. Okay, let's look at the pipeline view. Okay, so this is how the overall builds, right? Let's look at the pipeline view. So how you can create the pipeline view, the CI view. You need to click on this guy. Okay, now you need to install the plugin called build pipeline. There is no pipeline view available for you. So for that, so what you need to do is, okay, this is how you need to install the plugins. Okay, let me go there. Okay, go to manage plugins. Okay, if you want to check before installing it, you can always check for if build pipeline is installed or not. Okay, it's not there. Okay, now let me go and check if it is available for me to install it on the plugin repository. So I'm going to click on build pipeline. Here you go. Okay, I did not install it. So what I will do is I will do install without restart. This is how you can install the plugins. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now you install the plugin. Now let's create the pipeline view. Okay. Here you go. Now the pipeline is, okay, let's put CI pipeline. Okay, pipeline view. Okay, that's it. You can create that, and So you need to configure how you want to view the pipeline. Okay, so you get this now number of displayed builds. I'll choose 10. Okay, that is a number of pipelines. This is if you want to custom changes to your pipeline view, you can do that, but don't worry about that. And your start job is going to be build job. Okay, now let's click on OK. Okay, so okay, it doesn't seem right for me. So what you have to do is, okay, let's set up the flow. Okay, so what is the flow? Once you check out the code, okay, after that the next stage is going to be compile the code, right? Let's set up the, okay, whenever this project is been whenever the project is been checked out, let's go and click on okay, select the okay, kick off the other project. So what is this job? This is going to be post job, right? So once I check out this source code, go ahead and trigger the another job, okay, and compile the code. What is the job name called? P-compile the code. So when you want to kick off the job, only if build is stable, okay, if the build is successful, then only go ahead and compile the code. Okay, okay, then click on this guy. Okay, now once compile the code is over, okay, let's go back to compile code. So when the compile code is when the compile code is done, you need to run the test cases. So go ahead and click on trigger other jobs, build other projects, click on P run test cases. Perfect. So now let's go back to my pipeline and see how it looks like. Here you go. So it's a beautiful pipeline. So now what I will do is, hey, so once I set up one time, I'm gonna only care about my build pipeline view, and I go here and I simply click. Oh, here you go. Let's kick off the build. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's watch it out for a second. Okay, okay, the build part is done. So now the compile code is happening. Okay, and then it is running the test cases. So now you can see here pretty much what is happening through the my complete pipeline, end-to-end pipeline. Okay, so so far we now went to this guy. Okay, now let's sonar cube analysis. Okay, as I told you.
Hi,
Okay.
Guru. I have a question. Do you refresh it manually or is it auto refresh?
So I did disable the auto refresh. Okay, if you want, you can click on enable auto refresh. That will automatically refresh your screen for you. Okay, but for training purposes, just I disabled it. Okay, so it will automatically refresh it. You see this option?
Right.
Okay, so here you go. So I don't want to see that because while I'm demoing, I don't want to get my screen on and off. Okay, that many times. Just that's why I disabled auto refresh for all my demo. Okay, so if you want, you can always go ahead and click enable auto refresh. That's usually okay, enabled. Okay, don't worry about that, but this is how the flow looks like. So next step is going to be run the sonar cube sonar test cases, sonar code analysis. I will do that one part. Next one is jar and var. Okay, let's create a job so that we can view the pipeline view. Okay, let's create a jobs from okay, this guy, because I need to go through the Jenkins administration part too, and then some polling and scheduling job. For that, let's go very quick. Okay, let's create new item. P dot. Okay, now it's going to be package. Okay, I'm gonna show you the sonar separately. Okay, because that requires changes in format XML file and you need to set it up. Okay, run from P p run test. Okay, so you don't need this as part of this step. You just put it as a package. Okay, and then deploy, save it, and build now. So when each step is getting executed, right? Okay, this guy is going to get the dependency library specific to Maven. Okay, we did not run the compile, I mean, package before, right? So the package itself required a lot of dependency libraries, so it will go ahead and get that for Maven. Okay, and then any project specific, that will go ahead and get it, and then it will try to use all the packages and created our jar file. Okay, in previous case, the jar file was not created because we did not use that step to build the package. So now the package is there. So now what you need to do, once you have the package and you deploy to the Nexus and then deploy to the dev. Okay, let's create a simple okay, you package and deploy. Next, new item, deploy to dev. Okay, copy from p package. Okay, this is okay. So this as part of this, right? So how you deploy to the okay, how you deploy to the dev environments or staging. So okay, let's talk about deployment, guys, before going to that. So usually we use for deployments, right? In traditional way, we use either okay, some shell script. Most of the cases in past, people use the shell script to get the package from Nexus or Artifactory. Okay, once the package is built, so right, once the package is get built, war file or AR file, that will be pushed to the Artifactory repository management system called Nexus or Artifactory, JFrog Artifactory. So from that, so the release team or DevOps team, whatever the team is called, okay, so they get the artifact from Nexus or Artifactory using shell script, duplicate command or whatever command, and then deploy to the different environments like dev, QA, SCPT, and prod. So nowadays people started using Ansible, that is well-known application deployment and infrastructure management tool. So and also Puppet, you can use Puppet to okay, deploy the application to the, and also Chef. So these are the tools which will help us to in terms of automating the deployment process too. So you can okay, you can use Ansible, okay, Ansible playbook command to here to deploy to the dev. Okay, so for example, mine is hihost, okay, dev deploy.yaml file. So this is how okay, this is how the playbook is going to look like. So this is not a part of our scope, so I'm going to just show you in a demo. That's just an example. I'm going to save it as comment and then run with it. Okay, now once the deployment to dev is done, what else? Deployment to acceptance, that is the final. Okay, p okay, deploy to ACPT. Okay, and that is going to be copied from deploy to dev. Okay, then let's same thing. So this one is you are going to use the playbook called ACPT deploy job. Okay, that's it. So save it and copy it. So for now, let's quickly go back and uh, let's quickly go back and do the remaining pipeline stages. Okay, after p-run test, okay, configure. Guys, I'm going to speed up a little bit because we are going to run out of time if I go this phase. Okay, so if you don't follow me, please ask, raise your hand and ask your question. Okay, so for this, once that is done, build other projects. Okay, that is going to be p package. Oh, sorry. Okay, perfect. That's good. Okay, and let's go to package. Okay, and then the job is p dev deploy. Okay, okay, that's the dev deploy. Okay, don't worry about the naming convention for now. Dev deploy, and then under the dev deploy to acceptance. Perfect. Now let's go back here. Okay, very quick. Let's look at the CI pipeline, how it looks like now. Here you go, the beautiful pipeline. So here you go. So you have build, compile the code, run the test cases, and package it, and then deploy to dev. Let's run it again. Okay, let it go. So it will go to all these pages. Okay, and I wanna show a few more things. Okay, so as part of quick feedback, right? So what you have to do is now for any job, okay, you can go and configure, and you can let, come on, let's go. So I'll quickly go through the job specific parameters here again. So okay, so okay, before that, very quick. I'm going to quick look at metadata again of the job. So the discard builds. So if you're running every day at okay, every day 2 minutes or 3 minutes, right? So on daily basis you're going to end up running like 500-600 builds, so that is going to eat up disk space and all this stuff. So you don't want to keep all these builds, okay, on the disk. So you need to clean it up, okay, because anyway your code is going to be in your GitHub. Okay, you don't need to worry about it. This is Jenkins is just a broker which is doing what you have been told to do. So nothing important things is going to store on the Jenkins. So your project artifacts is going to be under in Nexus or Artifactory, and then your deployment playbooks again going to be in Git. Okay, don't need to worry about anything. Just wipe it out. If it is not really required, wipe it out. If it is too required, you can keep like, okay, 100 builds a day, or okay, number of days to keep, okay, 5. Okay, and then the another one is a very important feature is this project is parameterized. So sometimes you need to pass the some environment, some variables to the job. For example, the branch is specific. So for example, if you want to send the branch, right? So what you need to do is you need to give as, okay, the branch name. You want to pass this branch dynamically. You don't want to the default value is going to be master, and then come here and then you can replace with. Okay, this is how you mention the build job by using parameters. Okay, that is what this is all about. So most of the cases you end up parameterizing your job according to your job requirement, like versioning. Okay, you are gonna add version to. Okay, so what version of the okay, let's so what version of the job you want to run, so you end up putting the version and stuff too. Okay, and execute the concurrent builds if necessary. So if this build, okay, for example, you enable the poll SCM, so two developers okay, kick it off the job at the same time. So do you want to stop them, or do you want to, it's okay to, what you by default what Jenkins does is it will put in the queue, but if you want to override that feature, you can use these parameters. Okay, you can say that, okay, just execute how many you want. Okay, if it is doesn't conflict with this environment. Okay, so these are the important parameters. Okay, so and then I think we already discussed about that. This is the source code where you can mention whatever the source code management you are going to use. Git subversion. So if you want to use more, you need to go ahead and install the plugins like Purpose, TFS, or whatever it is, and then that will show up here. Okay, and then trigger the builds. As I think I already covered this one. Okay, anyway, this is very important for Jenkins. You mostly use this one or GitHub webhook trigger. So whenever some changes happen to that GitHub or pull request has been created, this has been used. And this one, so if you want to kick off the job from some different third-party tool, or if you want to run it from your CLI, you can enable this, and then that will automatically do that. So build after other project. If you want to get this build done, okay, whenever the project build. So this is pretty much a similar feature to this okay, build other projects. Okay, you can use, if you want to get this build automatically from other project instead of downstream, you can make it as okay, upstream project. Okay, that is the case. Okay, and more a little bit more. So in advanced section, you can okay, I think I missed this part. Okay, so you can restrict where the job can be run on. Okay, if you have master slave, you can restrict the project. Where is that section? Because once I create the build nodes, that will show up here. But anyway, for now, let's move on. And then build environment. I think there are multiple okay, build environment tools. So Ant, Gradle, Shell. So if you want to use Ansible, Puppet, you can go ahead and install it. I'll go through that one later in a minute. Okay, and then post build actions. Okay, this is what I want to tell. Okay, so if something goes wrong, right? So you need to send email to all these people. Hey, Guru. Okay, guru.devopsschool.com and some anwar.devops.com, devopsschools.com. So this is what it does. So as this process, right? So let's go back to what is CI. CI is all about automating your build, test, and deploying your code automatically, and send the feedback to the team. Okay, so that people can, if any issues, they can fix it. Okay, or if it is successful, they can gain the trust and move forward to the different environments. Okay, so that is what CA is all about. So how we can achieve that? This is the way. Okay, I hope you got what is CA and how to send the quick feedback when something fails. Here you go. So in any of this process, if something fails or breaks, it will gonna send the quick feedback to quick feedback to the developers based on the communication you mentioned there. Okay, so any questions, guys, so far?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Go ahead.
One is the first one is like you are running your master slave on the same machine here, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so master just initiates the execution, but the actual execution always happens on the slave, right?
No, in this case, so I did not create the slave yet. So everything is done by master.
Okay. And the second question is, let's say suppose I'm just looking at the pipeline stage, the pipeline 3. That's like after run test, then we like deploy the code. Sorry, we package, then we deploy the code.
That's
So in
correct.
the yeah, in the Maven lifecycle, like let's say suppose I do package. Basically, package does the all the first steps up to test and then runs package, right?
That's it creates the war file or jar file or AR file, whatever it is. Or
But it will eventually run, validate, compile, test, and then it will come to package, right?
yeah, everything. So when you run this
So
command, it will run all the steps.
so basically, did we not execute test twice? Like once in the
Yeah, of
test.
course. Yeah, yeah. That was demo. That's just yes. So technically, you can do all the steps in one job. So that is one. That is for your the
No,
total pipeline.
my question was like, let's say suppose if I have to set up a pipeline for Maven, like for Maven command, then how do I avoid running test twice? Like
Okay.
I want to have test stage and I want to have package stage. So in package stage, how do I avoid test? Because it
Okay,
is
so
already
what you
running.
can do is you can configure all this stuff in one job as a build job. So on the first job itself, you can put Maven package, so that and then that will take care of everything.
But then in that case, I'll have only one stage, right? Only
One
Maven
stage,
package.
yeah, one stage, yeah, in the as part of the build, that will cover everything. So even you can create another jobs saying that, yeah, I mean, more or less, yes. Yes, if you want to do that way, you end up in one job. So and you have to in pipeline view it will show as one step, and you have to explain to the team saying that okay, as part of the build test. So if you go to the okay, sure test results, it will show the test results. It
But is it not possible to have like stages like this, but still run test only in the test stage, but not, I mean, don't run test in the package stage?
There is
Because-
okay. There is so that comes under pipeline okay, Jenkins 2.0 pipeline as a code Jenkins
Oh,
file
okay, okay,
that
got it.
will come as part of okay. So that will come as part of advanced training. I think if you go here, right, let me
Mhm.
show you that. Okay, so that's a very good question actually. I can cover. So this is how the life cycle is going to be. So as part of the build, it will just get the build. Okay, so here it will run only once. So it will go through the step by step in one and it will show all the stages. It will run once. It will show all the stages. Okay,
Okay, okay.
that will cover as part of the issue. I mean, the whatever the question you are asking, that is covered by Jenkins file concept. But moreover, you can just say usually build package. Okay, okay, build deploy run the okay, and then deploy to dev, deploy to accept. That's how the life cycle of typical life cycle of pipeline. Why this one is just I want you to guys to get an idea. You can put all these steps, and also assume some cases you want to run the compile only, right? So you can always kick up the job itself. Okay, and also sometimes if you want to run the test cases, you can only click up the job. Okay, okay. Any other questions, guys? Because we're running out of time, so I'll go through the other questions, and then otherwise I'll go through the Jenkins administration part. I think Sonar Cube, I think you guys already know. Oh, let me quickly go through what is Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube, what does it does is it's it will analyze your code, okay, and it will find the duplicate, okay, it will find the duplicate code and bug fixes, okay, and it will give you report on okay, security vulnerable, okay, finding vulnerabilities and test results report. That is called static. Okay, okay. So I think we will not have time to install the Sonar Cube integration, but if you want, how you do that is very simple. Let me quickly show you how to do that. Okay, for that, let's close all this. Okay, so now assume you have to install the Sonar Cube. I mean, you have to generate the Sonar Cube test results. So what you have to do is first you have to install the Sonar Cube plugin. Okay, so again, let me go a little bit advanced here. So this is how the plugin manager looks like in Jenkins. Okay, in most of the cases, you have to go to the advanced section and you need to configure your company proxies, because by default Jenkins cannot talk to the internet. So make sure that you guys are aware of this one. So you need to specify the server and then all this stuff. And if you got the HPI file, that is the Jenkins plugin extensions, so you can always download it from internet. Okay, and then you can choose it here, and then you can upload it to the here, so it will also install it for you. Okay. In our case now, we have a connection to the internet, so I don't need to do all this stuff. So I'll just go ahead and look for the Sonar Cube. So for Sonar Cube, so I need two plugins. Okay, one is Sonar Cube server, another one is Sonar Cube scanner, which actually go through the reports. Okay. Can you please go on mute, guys? Someone. I think Sonar might have been installed already. Okay, let's take a look at later. Okay, but anyway, so this is how you install the Sonar Cube. Okay, go back to the page. Let's go to manage Jenkins. Okay, so this is, so there are two things. So whatever, okay, so you have to configure in terms of server specific, you have to come to this configure system. So for example, so GitHub, or if you want to have set globally some global properties like environment variables or some tool locations. Okay, or if you want to set Sonar Cube server. Okay, so you need to set Sonar Cube server. Okay, it's going to be localhost / 9000. Okay, your Sonar Cube is going to run there. And okay, okay, so this is the name of the Sonar Cube server. So you need to mention your Sonar Cube server here, and then you need to get an authentication token, and you need to configure this here. Okay, and then so now you know where is your Sonar Cube server, and in your Sonar Cube job configuration, so you can just point to this server. Okay, hey, send the reports to this server, so then everything will be sent it over to there. Okay, and then not only that, if you want to change the Jenkins specific URL, okay, later in the stage you can use that. And if you want to integrate your GitHub projects with the okay, GitHub with Jenkins, so you can configure your GitHub enterprise, okay, GitHub with Jenkins. So you need to do integrations, okay, all this stuff. Okay, and then there is a section called, I think we already gone through that. Let me go through that again, because that's very important. So there is a section called configuring tools, like, okay, let me go back again. Okay, sorry, come on, let's, okay, configuring tools, right? So assume, so in most of the cases, right, you end up installing the tools on the server. So you can also tell Jenkins to do that job for you. So you need to install different JDK versions, okay, and you need to install different, I mean, you need to install Git, you need to install SVN. So, and whenever the plugins install, so this section is going to show up saying that, okay, hey, you know what, so I can do the job for you regarding the tools. You just tell me what to do. So you can come here, what is the Docker need to be installed. So if you want to Ansible, right, you can use Ansible, which version of Ansible you want me to install for you, or if something else, right, if it is the TFS, what version of TFS you want me to install. So this is section is all about the tools configuration. Okay, so if you already installed on the server, you can always do that. Okay, the next thing is managing the users in the Jenkins. Okay, now if I go here, right, so this is the section. So this is all the administration section, guys. So if you want to manage the Jenkins, this is very important place. You need to thoroughly know about it if you are a Jenkins admin. So if you go to the configure global security, okay, most of the cases in a real time, in enterprise organizations, most of the people use LDAP or LDAP or Active Directory. So that is available. So you need to configure LDAP server or something and specific to organization. And also there are two types of authorization. So at this moment, whoever log into the Jenkins, you are allowing them to do anything. But this time we are going to use either project-based matrix, I mean the matrix-based security. So and then our project-based security. So if you're using the folder structure and stuff, try to use the project-based matrix authorization strategy. That is more efficient than matrix. But if you're overall managing the Jenkins and you have the Active Directory groups and you can manage what to do. So these are the overall view at their access levels. So you can restrict at overall Jenkins to the read. Okay, people from who can without logging in, they can just view the all this stuff. Okay, and then in terms of credentials, they cannot. I mean, they don't need to view. Okay, they can view the agents. Okay. They can build on the agents and they can just where is that, read the jobs, and they can read the jobs again. Okay, and then authenticated users, let's put like some XYZ guy. Okay, okay, let's add the user, for example, like some test user, right? So like let's put like Satya. Okay, so you can say what this guy can do. Okay, so this guy is not there, so that time he market is out. But once he registered himself, he can he can have any access. So for this guy, I'm not gonna give him administrator access. I'm gonna just I'm gonna delete the delete options for him, so that by mistake he won't delete any of my jobs. Okay, that's how you configure the credentials. That's how you add the people. So usually if you use LDAP or something, you need to click on add user group. That will allow them to add that. Okay, next thing is any other things. Okay, let's go back to another concept. Okay, now we went through managing users, right? What else we need to discuss? Okay, we went through how to configure the tools. We went through we are going to Jenkins administration, manage users. Okay, backup Jenkins. Okay, let's look at what is backup. How do you backup the Jenkins? So when you're running in the enterprise, right, so you cannot leave this node itself, so you need to back it up. So for that, there are a couple of plugins available. So if you go to again, I told you, right, everything is in the form of plugins. You just need to find the right plugin and then install it and configure it. Okay, so there are two plugins. One is thin backup, very popular one. Okay, and then periodic backup plugin. So what this plugins does is it will help you to back up your complete Jenkins system. Okay, thin backup. Okay, let's type. Okay, come on. Okay, here you go. Thin backup and periodic backup. These are the two plugins. Okay, and the beauty of the Jenkins is, okay, very simple, guys. If you want to migrate one server from another server, as long as you copy varlib Jenkins home, okay, and restart the service, That's it. So you forget about thin backup and periodic backup. So if we got the backup of this home folder in zip format somewhere, so because this is a flat file system, so everything is stored in XML files. You just get that get that folder and copy copy to the new server. Okay, that's it, and restart the service. Your whole new Jenkins will be having the old configuration and the plugins and then everything. So whatever it is part of the home directory, that will be there. So let's quickly go back to Jenkins. Let's quickly configure the thin backup plugin. Okay, it takes a 1 minute job. Let's, because that's very important as part of Jenkins admin day-to-day tasks. Okay, here you go. You got the thin backup here. Okay, as part of thin backup. Okay, just go to settings. Okay, so backup directory is going to be /temp. Okay, you can give whatever the directory you want. Okay, a backup schedule for jobs. So you need to run the cron job. Let's put a star by every 2 minutes. Run the job. Okay, okay. For now, 5 stars. So everything. So when you guys remember one thing, so the scheduling stuff is in the cron format, cron tab. If you don't know what is cron tab, look at cron tab format. That is the way you schedule the things in Linux. Okay, Linux type of Linux way. So you need to use 5 stars. So first is minute, and then hour, and then day, and then month, and then week. Okay, so that is how. Okay, and backup schedule differential. Backup this schedule for differential backups. That's don't need to worry about that. So files excluded from the Jenkins. So you can exclude the logs and build folder and workspace folder. But for now, let's leave that. So that's it. Save it. Okay, now let's take a backup now to see how it works. So if you want to restore, you see there is a backup available. Okay, if you want to restore, you can use the restore plugin, and then that's how you create the that's how you can create the backup and restore from the backup. So on the new Jenkins 2, right? So if you copy all these thin backup files, okay, and if you put it under that section, so the /temp location, that will also be available to this collection usually. So what happens is we install the thin backup, and thin backup is going to take care of the backup Jenkins, and these Jenkins archives, they are going to be stored in S3, and whenever something goes wrong with complete Jenkins, we'll fetch from S3, AWS S3 or Google Cloud Storage. We'll fetch from there and then reinstall the old Jenkins. Okay, now and the final very important topic is the distributed, okay, Jenkins master slave mechanism. Okay, this is very important, guys. Okay, so as project grows, the number of projects get onboarded to the Jenkins. Okay, and the workload is going to be heavy, the resources and stuff. How do you configure? Okay, very simple. So assume today you have 2 projects. Okay, one Jenkins server is enough, but if you have 10 projects, you cannot you cannot hold the load accordingly, because that throws a lot of issues in terms of how server performs. It slows down, sometimes get the server down because of high CPU utilization, number of threads is more. So what you need to do is you need to add a new node. Okay, let's add a new node. So for that, so from master to slave, you need to have passwordless config. Okay, so for that, let's generate keygen -t RSA. So in order to master slave mechanism works, the basic thing is you need to enable the passwordless authentication. Okay, or you need to input username and password to log in. But for now, let's see. Let's go ahead and set up passwordless for now. ID .ssh ID underscore RSA.public key. Okay, let's go back to sessions. I think I got one Jenkins slave node. Let me look it up. There it is. So okay, VI perfect. So this is how you configure the passwordless. If you don't know, please go ahead and refer how to configure passwordless on YouTube. That will tell you. So let's look at if we have access. Okay, this is the IP. Let's go back to Jenkins master. Let's make sure that we have access. Here you go. I logged into Jenkins slave. So now literally we can use this node, use this server as Jenkins slave. Okay. Okay, Jenkins slave 01. This is permanent node, and here you go. Okay, and also again, guys, this is also require Java because the client also uses Java utility. So the remote directory is going to be. Let's make a one directory. Okay, Jenkins slave home. Okay, just for your reference. So what is the server name? Is going to be this. So the slave is going to be, let's put as a slaves. Okay, the label is going to be slaves. Credential is none. So you can use okay. Okay, that's it. Let's see if that comes up. You know what? I need to add the credentials very quickly, guys, because I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, let's add the credentials because it requires private key to authenticate, right? Forgot that concept. Okay, so you need to add the private key. Okay, private key is going to be so the username is going to be root, and the private key is going to be this server private key. Okay. Okay, now let's go back to the manage nodes again. Okay. Now you can use these credentials and then save it. Now it should work. Perfect. Hope it will work. Okay. Let's make sure that Java is installed on this slave. Okay, perfect. That is there.
Is it because in the private key that you copied, there are some extra characters at the top and bottom?
Was it? Okay, let's see. It should work. Actually, this should be very straightforward. Otherwise, something wrong with my server. Here you go. It worked. Yeah, perfect. Oh, what? Let me see if Java is running. PS minus sorry, Jenkins is running. Ooh. Okay, so let me, okay, give me 1 second. Let me use another server, guys. Okay, give me, because some that's why I don't go with my old servers, because sometimes I messed up with that. So let me quickly go to the other server, because this is I'm sorry for that. Okay, because I don't have time to create a new server, so I'm gonna go with the other servers. Okay, I'm remove Jenkins -y. Okay, make sure that I don't wanna conflict with Mart server, and okay. So what you were saying, because that's not right, because it is going to the Jenkins. You saw that it is able to SSH into the server. Okay. Now after SSH into the server, it is now having issues with launching agent. Okay, something even different. So even I can't. I have to look it up, because that node is broken. It's been a long time. I haven't used that node. I tried to use it, but since it didn't work this time. Okay, let's quick look at this guy. If this guy doesn't work, we'll create a new one. Otherwise, that's okay. You guys can try always. This is not rocket science. This is very simple concept. Okay. I hope I'm not doing any mistake here. Okay, I copied this guy. Okay, perfect. Now IP ADR. This guy is going to be this one. Let's see if that. Oh, you know what? This is magic, man. Ha! It worked. Okay, so even we don't need to do that. Maybe that's some error. Okay, okay, it worked. So it should be straightforward, right? It worked, right? Okay. Now if you look at log, maybe that thrown an error based on okay, based on something, but it worked. Okay, that's how you add the nodes. Okay, we don't need to worry about other one. Okay, so and now what you can do is, so if you go back to your jobs, okay, now you can tell, okay, you know what, hey, don't run the job on master, because there are already too many jobs. Okay, you can restrict where this job can run on. Okay, now if we go ahead and look at it, if we go to Jenkins configuration, okay, now as we enabled master slave mechanism, now there is an option called restrict where this project can be run, because we have multiple options right now. So this is called distributed, man. So whenever the workload getting more, so you can always add Jenkins slaves to the master, so that it can distribute the work. So what master does here, master mostly take care of the configuration and scheduling stuff, and the slaves, those are the who is the actual workers who does the build and whatever the deployment job. Okay, so those are the actual work caretakers. Okay, now this case I'm going to use slaves. Okay, now so make sure that the tools are also installed. If it's not installed, it will throw an error, but hopefully Git is there because that I have used it in past, so it should be fine. So if you go ahead and look at, let's see what is that. Okay, some issue. Okay, so anyway, so this is where it built it. So it went to here and then it checked out the code and it failed. So why it failed? Let's see. Okay, it should not fail technically. It should be straightforward. Let's see if Git is there. Okay, let's.
You might have, you have given some variables. Might be you can check in.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Yeah, you were right, man. You were right. So yeah, in the previously when I'm demoing, I was made the job as parameterized. Shit.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks for that. Okay. So this one. Okay. So this is master branch. Cool. So let's go ahead and build it again. So you see now the job is built on slave 01. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all for today, guys. Okay, unless until if you have guys any questions, please let me know now. Otherwise, I will wrap it up for today. Tell me any questions. I would be more happy to answer it. And also, please give your feedback. Okay, that is very important for me. If you like it, please give the rating as well. Okay, so if you have any feedback, please leave it as well. Okay, any questions, guys?
Hello, Guru.
Hey, one by one. I can't hear you.
Can I have this video?
It's not clear, guys. Can you please explain me again? Can you speak again?
I think he's asking, can you upload this video or demo in the DevOps school.
I will. After this session, I will share this one with the DevOps School guy. So he's gonna upload it to the DevOpsSchool.com YouTube videos, and then he's gonna share with you guys. So any other question?
If I want to see any tutorial in
one by one, guys. Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
If I want to see any tutorial, basic tutorial in YouTube, do you recommend any video in YouTube?
No, this is the one. And if you want more, know about more things, please, subscribe for advanced course that will cover this one along with advanced topics like continuous delivery and Jenkins file. Okay, any other questions? Go ahead. Any other question?
Yeah, Guru. Again, on the same point. When can I confirm this video available? Because today's session was very good and it's around 4 hours session, so I need to repeat it. So please confirm on the group, the WhatsApp group that once it is available, so that we can again go through that.
Sure. I will by tomorrow morning. You guys will have this recorded tutorial. So, any other questions, guys?
That's all from my side, Guru. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for everyone for joining this class. Please, give your feedback. That is very valuable to me. Okay. However, okay. Thank you very much. So, let's have a nice day, guys. I'm disconnecting the meeting now.
Guru, have a nice good night.
You too, man. Everyone.
Thank you.